Hey folks, let's just talk about minimum pricing quickly. Earlier on I was on Scotland Tonight, a guy used the metaphor of a car, an exhaust pipe being kind of patched up and it being essentially a superficial fix. I think the car's a good metaphor, right? Think of all the cars out there on the roads. Think how fast they're all driving. Think how dangerous it all is. In order to mitigate the danger, we put things in place so that the cars all have to slow down or stop or go at certain speeds or give way. So there's a whole range of measures out there in the road network, lights, barriers, signs, the cumulative effect of which has an impact on enough drivers for it to be significant. When someone stops at a red light, is it just the red light that brings the car to a halt? No. There's the red light. There's the driver's foot on the pedal. There's the pressure of the pedal on the brakes on the car. There's the friction of the concrete on the tyres. There's the force of gravity. There might be a speed limit, someone crossing the road. Every time a car stops, it's a different combination of these different measures that we have in place that brings that situation about. So sometimes it might be a red light, other times it might be someone running out in front of a car. The point is, when you're trying to bring about a cultural change, then you're trying to do as much as you can to create those intersections, to create those moments where someone might have to confront something. So minimum pricing isn't going to stop people who are hell-bent on drinking. Of course that's true. Can you tell me what is going to stop them drinking? Oh wait. Can you tell me someone who's hell-bent on having alcohol rather than food, can you tell me anything that you can do for that person? There's nothing you can do for them. That person has to go through a certain amount of pain, humiliation, anxiety, in order to bring about a window of realisation that they have to confront the fact that they can't drink. Do you ever notice that most alcoholics don't stop drinking until some really, really heavy shit happens to them? If people could drink and get away with it, they would. They would never think about stopping. What minimum pricing does is it interacts with things like the licensing laws, the age restrictions on alcohol, and other cultural factors to create more barriers for a certain type of drinker who maybe just needs nudged in the right direction to think more honestly about the impact alcohol's having on their life. So yes, you can say it's a tax on the poor, but ultimately the cost of alcohol in this society is so high that if that means that a family need to sit and think, am I buying alcohol or am I buying something else, then I think that's fine. Also, if you actually look at the cumulative cost, it's only expensive if you drink too much. If you drink within the health guidelines, then this isn't really that big a deal. So the argument that it's a tax on the poor is being made by people who consume too much alcohol, and later in their life that will have a social cost. So the whole point of minimum pricing is to correlate the fact that having a drink is not just a consequence to you. It's the whole idea of recognising the cost is massive and that we all have to pay for it. Now you can say that middle class people aren't going to pay more because they have mail order wine and their units aren't affected and all of this. Fair enough. But the problems of alcoholism and the effect that it has socially are more prevalent in poorer communities. So if that's what's being targeted, I think that's fair. I know that that's not popular. And finally, when it comes to other areas of taxation, the people who are getting it a wee bit better when it comes to the minimum pricing have to pay more tax on almost everything else. What is the worst that could happen with this? What is the worst that could happen? So what, we only save 40 people and no 60? Think of the ripple effect that has in alcoholic homes and the ripple effect that has in communities. 10 years ago, the Violence Reduction Unit says we're going to look at violence like it's a public health issue, not just a criminal justice issue. Oh, we're going soft on crime. Oh, this isn't going to... 10 years later, almost every form of violence down. The almost eradication of gang violence in Glasgow. Now, is there more to do? Aye. We've still got to make a lot of progress on gender-based violence, on all other forms of sexual violence. But still, pretty big progress. When the smoking ban came in, people says, oh, some never catch on, I'm going to have to go out, nobody's going to go to the pub, they all have to go and stand outside. Nobody gives a fuck now, everybody's forgot. It was the same when they put the tax on the sausage rolls, and it was the same when they put the tax on poly bags. People moan about shit. At the end of the day, the government has a social responsibility to try and act. They've decided that this is something that they're going to act on, and they've fought tooth and nail to push it through. So, I'm supporting them because I think this isn't the only thing the Scottish Government's going to do. This is just one thing, and then we can do other things. I get the fact that not everybody's into it. I get the fact some people think because they aren't problem drinkers, why should they be penalised? You know, I don't use a library, so why should I pay more council tax when I don't need free internet access and I don't need access to books because I've got everything here? Just, you live in a society, mate. Right? Sorry. That's my thoughts. Peace out.